You guys mind if we start off with a quick prayer? No. Please. Right, briefly. Teri, are you okay with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Heavenly Father, we thank you for loving kindness and mercies. We thank you for the grace that you bestowed upon everyone here. We thank you for the kindness that you are showing us through Teri's teaching. And we ask that you bless her, to bless us with really good information, to bless us in our businesses this year. We ask that you lead and guide us in all the things that we do and say. In Jesus' name, amen.
The first person is Pamela Williams.
Hello, good morning.
Linda Wood. All right. Thank you everyone for being on time and being here early. We appreciate you. For those who are not familiar with being here at the studio, the bathroom is down the hall, make a left, and it'll be on the left. So if you need to use the lavatory out that way. There's water. If you'd like more coffee, just tap me on the shoulder. We'll make some more. There might be still some in there. There are some snacks, so if you need to grab a snack, you can feel your blood sugar going down at any point, or you need some energy, please help yourself. There's some really nice snacks out there for you. If you need Wi-Fi, it is Messenger 2G or 5G. The Wi-Fi password is wellness445, lowercase, if you need that for any reason, to get online. So I am thrilled today. Good morning. Thrilled today to be able to gather with each of you and train to further ourselves in our businesses. I think that we can never learn enough or stop growing as individuals in who we are to be and expanding in our purpose. So today we're very excited to introduce to you an expert strategist and trainer. And I want you to really be ready with questions or be ready to open up into your writing. And if we have any time where we're talking, open up into the group. This is the time for you. So I think in order to do the introduction properly, I would love to invite Diane Castle to come up because she and Teri
Now I'm in trouble.
now for over 5 years. And Diane has trained with Teri and been in her meetings, and she really can share with you, I believe, the heart of who Teri is. And without further ado, I'm going to ask Diane to come up to introduce our speaker today.
Good morning. Good morning. Is everybody ready to change their lives today?
Yes.
Good. I'm really honored to introduce Teri. I met Teri about 5 years ago through a network group, and we became fast friends. I can't say enough about Teri. Teri is a true giver. Of course, Teri is a believer, so we get on the same page. But what I like most about Teri is her heart. She has a heart as big as Texas, so she's in the right space. And I love her vision. I love the way that she talks to us, not down to us, but talking with us about how we can really change how we look at our life and how we can take our dreams, everything that we have for our life, and turn a dream into reality. Teri is a strategist that doesn't just tell you to go out and make 10 calls a day. And good luck with that. Teri is all of the way strategist. So you hear a lot of words about and introductions about people out there being business coaches. But what does that really mean? That word is used really loosely in this world today. But I will tell you from my personal experience that Teri is a true strategy coach. She will walk you through step by step exactly how you get to where you want to be and help you with that vision. And I am so honored to introduce my dear friend, Teri Werner.
Look, we are powerful. Thank you. Thank you all for coming out on a Saturday morning. If you hear someone you probably haven't heard of, and I've heard all about you. And it's all about you. Why do we have tables like we have tables scattered around? They had it very nice and neat, and I just came in and made all kinds of havoc. You know anybody like that? They come in your life and pretty soon it's just chaos everywhere. I'm her. Welcome to my party. So we did this because we're going to have breakout sessions. We want you to have time of really sharing intimately with each other, really connecting very powerfully, because that's what this is about. So I think it's important you know a little bit about who you're allowing to speak in your life. My background, I have a really interesting story, is that did you ever hear of Zig Ziglar? Z-I-G, Ziglar, you know? I thought you all had heard of him. I was in a direct sales company back in other years, way back in another century, actually. And the one tape, they had the tape. We used to have these little things you stick in the car, and the little thing went around and around. It was called a cassette tape, okay? It was before a lot of things we have now. He had a tape of the month club. And because my upline said, you need to do whatever we say to do, and you ever heard that? I did. He made one statement that opened my heart and changed my mind. And that statement I applied beliefs and strategies to, and where I thought I would just be able to kind of be a stay-at-home wife, live in a row, make brownies, you know, something very motivational. Instead, within 10 years, I had taken my own company public. I co-founded with my father a company doing church design in the church market and doing marketplace ministry, and we took that company public on NASDAQ. At the time we took it public, I had no idea what that meant. I thought, well, a bunch of people pay you money. I thought, I'm in for that, you know? And so I really believe that you really take in what is given to you, and you apply it, and you create strategies, and you create structures. 3 components to business: synergies, connecting, strategies, and structures. You're going to hear me talk a lot about entrepreneurialism, because what you are in direct sales is simply entrepreneurs who have chosen a product and a company that you believe in to market, who will pay you handsomely for doing that. And so entrepreneurialism has synergy, strategies, structures. The mindset of an entrepreneur is so important because it gives you accountability, responsibility. You're responsible for what you do. This is your business. So you're going to hear a lot about that. So I'm a believer in allowing those who speak into your life. I actually shared the stage with Zig Ziglar right before he passed and thanked him and told him my story. Now I have 2 guests here today, pastor, evangelist, and so forth, motivational speaker, Mr. Joe Sammons, and his lovely wife, Janice Sammons, right there. When I introduce you, you'll have to all meet him later, and some of you have already done so. Joe used to be with Zig Ziglar, and he travels all over the United States with his beautiful bride, and they evangelize gas stations, restaurants, wherever they go. Sounds like a direct seller, huh? You might want to talk to him. You might want to carry some products with you next time. So what I want to begin with is one thing. You hear this question over and over and over. But before I ask this question, I want to do a little housekeeping. The word distraction, that we say, oh, well, they're just distracted. They were going well, but they just got distracted, like, oh, they stubbed their toe. No. Distraction, the word distraction means to eliminate the power of moving forward. Anybody on your teams that they were going, and then they're gone? They think they're at an auctioneer or something, an auction? Distraction is powerful. So I'm asking you to put your phones on silent. I'm asking you to put them in your purse or away. You have about 10 pages of handouts. We're recording this, so there's a possibility of you getting that recording. No distraction in the room, because what happens in this room is powerful. And we are responsible as mature entrepreneurs to make sure our environment is that which allows people to attract knowledge and transformation into their life. And what we do matters. My pet peeve, they do. I mean, you're like talking like big accountability. What if you're holding that one piece of information that is going to empower that life, change that life, and move it forward because you got your gum in a good person. Or because you went, and we all can do this. So I just want you to put your phones away, turn them on silent, have them off the table. And you know, this is a good lesson. When you go in to meet someone on a one-on-one or a personal career, whatever you want to call your conversation, put your phone away. Nobody died yet of someone not responding to a text. Unless you work at 911, you're not 911. You train people how you do your business. You train people how you do your business. And so I'm just going to say this is so important. You don't have to have your phone where you are. And if you're on a date with your husband or your partner or your whoever, do not take your phone in there. Right, honey? I changed. I'm not doing it, right? That's my husband, David Hawks, back there. So he's here to keep me honest. Okay? This is being recorded.
You'd be more than welcome in our church.
I'm planning on coming. Anybody who's this smart, I want to my pastor. So here's the question you're going to hear over and over and over. And you that love to side talk, don't do that because I'll call you out and pull you up here. So, see, I'm kind of like an evangelist. My dad's a minister. He always loved when the evangelists came because they got to say all the things to the people that he couldn't say to people because he had this job protection. But they also could come in and mess you up and go, thank you. That Miss Texas way. See you? I was never Miss Texas, but I always thought about it. So, but I did live in Texas, so that kind of held me back. The question is this. You're going to hear it over and over and over. This is one of the most powerful questions to lead a meeting with. If anything were possible, if anything is possible, and we know it is, what is the one thing you would choose to be possible for you? If anything is possible, what would you choose to be possible for you? And one thing I want you to not do here is think about how good this would be for everybody else you know. Because this is about you. And we'll talk to you about how to duplicate this with you. So if anything were possible, what would you choose to be possible for you? What is the one thing? When you say one thing to someone, you put your finger, one, here. And you say one thing. You don't know if they're auditory or kinesthetic. If they're auditory, or visual, auditory, visual. Auditory, they can hear it. If they're visual, they need to see it. If you're with them, touch them on the hand. Because of their kinesthetic, which means feeling. We don't know which rep system people are in, so we do all of them. So I have had people begin their team meetings and their customer meetings with this one question. And this one question has increased sales by 25% in the room. Team engagement by 40% in the room. One question. The power of a question. Ralph Waldo Emerson said, the level of success you achieve is directly relative to the courage of the question you ask. Okay? Now, I had a little story a while back where someone said to me, a coaching client said to me, well, I've been dripping, and they've been working out with someone in a nutritional company. I've been dripping on this person, dripping, building relationship, dripping. And I said, what criteria do you have for dripping versus drowning? When are you going to have a business conversation? What is the one thing that is possible, is a perfect introduction to a business conversation in a gentle, kind, about you way. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. So leadership, supporting others in expanding their capacity to explore their possibilities. If that's all you learn in leadership, that's almost all you need to learn. But in a way, oh, I'm sorry. Please. Just move it over there in front of the drums. That's fine. I just wanted enough space to write on it. Okay, so sorry. Well, it's on your handouts. All the things you see up here are on your handouts too. Okay? Okay, can you all see from there if I do something there? Okay, that's great. Thank you. So your handout has a copy of all these PowerPoints so you can refresh yourself, and it has the information. So leaders support others to expand their capacity to explore possibilities. We talk about possibilities. What is going on? When was the last time you thought of unlimited possibilities? Now we have something here called probability or possibility thinking. Probability thinking is the pain of the past dictates my future, and I operate in that in the present. The lid, the beat down, the disappointments. The disappointments. Even scripture, David said, please, Lord, do not allow me to find disappointment in you. Disappointment. Deferred hope. Possibilities is no matter what happened in the past, and you move your left hand, whatever happened in the past, that's in the past. What I choose to be in the present is what will move me forward to unlimited possibilities. When was the last time you actually took the lid off? What is possible? What is possible for you? And then coaching is a bridge from where you are to where you choose to be. And I want this to be in your mind, so I'm going to draw this out. So coaching is a bridge from where I'm not an artist, I'm just a designer by background. This creates awareness. This creates clarity. If we build a bridge, and God knows we have enough of them in Dallas, Texas, if we build a bridge over a body of water, we have to connect both sides to a very strong substrate. That has to be very construct, has to be very strong. Otherwise, you know what you have? You don't have a bridge, you have a float. And the Lake Ray Hubbard, So you have to build very carefully. So awareness, coaching creates awareness and then creates clarity. Sometimes those are backwards. Sometimes you get clarity and then that creates awareness on where you are. Coaching is about creating awareness of where you are, providing strategies to the clarity on where you're going. Okay? If I don't put in something in my GPS, my car will automatically just go to the Galleria or day spa. We've now gotten to the day spa part. So, knowing where you're going. So that's what coaching does, is ask you the questions to know where you're going. Now, the value of coaching. I want to let you know this. Why do we talk about coaching? Everyone that says they're a coach is not a coach. A certified coach is a coach. Someone who coaches you and says, I'm coaching you, is someone who's saying they just want to move you forward. A coach, a true coach, will ask you questions to help you, to support you in finding your answer. You're creative looking for two things in your life other than your purpose and your God. You're looking for your voice to be heard. You want to hear your voice, and you want to hear your answer. And if you're trying to lead a team by giving your answer to them, for them to do and mandating it, talk to me in a few years. You'll be hiring me. Because the point is, they don't need to know what you want them to do with their life. That is immaterial. They need their answer. How do you get to their answer? And then you do support them in finding strategies. Then you do support them, and we'll walk through how that works. So, what does coaching do? The increase of 20 to 400% in revenues, rank advancement, retention, and there's something else, but I forget what it is. Anyway, it's a lot about money. So increase in revenues. What if you made today, you walked out of here and there was a check in your mailbox or on your debit card for 4 times the money you made last month in this business? Would that be valuable? Would that be worth learning something new? Okay, so you're going to learn something new. The other part of it is the number one thing about speaking and training and even talking to people one-on-one is engagement. The level of engagement, the number one thing in training and speaking, number one, know your audience. Number two, or at least know about your audience if you don't know your audience. Number two is find a skill, develop a skill that creates high-level engagement like that, like that. When you talk to people about them, guess what? They're paying attention. So the level of engagement, 300 to 500%. The level of implementation is up to 800%. It's one thing to hear, it's another thing to act on it. So your actions to implement and integrate the information, which creates transformation. Training does not create transformation. Training creates information. Coaching, because you participate about you, building towards your outcome, that creates transformation. You want transformation, I'm going to a bunch of information. You want information, go on Google. You can Google anything. It may not be right, but you can Google it. So training, we equip you and train you on skill you do not know. That is important. Coaching, we help you break through limiting belief. We help you break through and move forward to the next thing. The point of the bridge is taking you where you are to where you choose to go. So the role of the leader, we talk about leader coaching. First of all, I think it's very powerful to develop the skill to lead leaders, not to lead followers. Anybody can lead a follower. I mean, that's not tough unless you're a parked car. You can lead a follower. It's very powerful, and it is a skill to develop to lead leaders, to attract leaders and lead leaders. First thing a leader will do is they'll learn how to follow. Then they'll switch over to leading. It is the role of the leader, high-level leader for high-level outcome. It is the role of the leader to step into your vision and expand your vision with you and create with strategies that will move you forward to where you choose to go in the way you choose to go there. It's very tough on leaders to let that go and say, okay, I'm going to let you go where you choose to go and in the way you choose to go. I'm going to offer strategies, I'm going to offer structures, I'm going to offer information, I'm going to offer coaching. At the end of the day, if we think at any point that the decisions of the people we lead and what they do to get to where they're choosing to go is because we're amazing trainers, we've missed it. We're going to support you. However, letting go of how you do it is the toughest thing in the world. Because we want to go, but we're not cheerleaders. And we're not responsible for your outcome. Leaders have to understand we're here to support, but we're not responsible for your outcome. What that just did, you should be off all anxiety medication right now with that one statement. Because it becomes very frustrating because you want it so much. So that's what happens in coaching. So there's 5 coaching skills, and we're not going to go through this. We're going to be very brief on this, and we're going to get to Bishop. 5 coaching skills is empowering questions. What are empowering questions? Open-ended questions that start with who, what, when, where, how. They do not start with do, can, would. They do not start with is, should, could. None of that. It's who, when, what, where, how. That is how you lead to strategies. Who are you going to call? When are you going to call them? How will I know how that goes? What's the level of commitment you have? On and on and on it goes. When you ask questions yes and no, 70% of the time you'll probably get a no. If you get a no, where do you go with that? Well, I know you're probably wrong. You probably mean yes. So let me go, no, that's not the right answer. So if you get no, what do you do? When I ask an open-ended question, well, how will that support where you're moving forward to? Versus, is that supporting? Well, no. Or yes. Yes, it's supporting me. So what do? You know it's not supporting them. No, you fool, it's not supporting them. You know you're not supporting. You don't do that if you're smart. I'm not saying I haven't done that a time or two. That's why I'm a coach. I'll learn better. Is to find out and to support them with those questions. So open-ended question, you're going to hear a lot about that. Listening with the heart. Lay your hand on your heart, even on your jewelry or on your heart or whatever. When you're talking to someone and you want to get to their heart, focus on your heart. What you touch is what your focus goes to. Even ask them, why don't you lay your hand on your heart while we're talking? There's a way to get people to their heart. The number one challenge in coaching, I think, is, first of all, once you find someone coachable, is getting them out of their head to allow them to get into their emotions, their heart. That's where movement, emotion, the root word is motion. People do not think their way into a decision. They feel their way into a decision, and then they collateralize it with the logic. The logic is there. You have to first get into their heart. So listening to hear, listening to support, listening to the heart. And we'll talk about how to even bring them into their heart by the language you use and how you do various things. Heart feedback. Ever want to really give someone feedback? Well, I have something to say. I just think, I'm just going to put it on the table. I'm just going to tell you what I think. Like they're all dying to just know what you think. I actually thought people were for a long time, and I found out that was untrue. So heart-focused feedback is speaking from the heart. With your permission, if I had something that I really feel would empower you to move forward, what would be your willingness for us to talk about that? Versus, yeah, I have something to tell you and you're not going to like it, and you're going to tell everybody you don't like it, but I don't care because I got something to tell you, and we're going to talk about it right now, right here. Diane, I know no one in the room who wants to go there. I know, we love you. Agreed action and accountability. If you have a conversation with someone and it's not what's your commitment, when you're going to do it, how you're going to do it, agreed action and accountability, you are not coaching. You're having a very nice conversation that will absolutely probably go nowhere. It has limited capacity to expand anyone. Okay? So accountability. Authentic acknowledgement. Acknowledgement is not a compliment. It is from your heart to their heart about who they be. Because if all you do is acknowledge what people do, who are they to you when they don't do something? We got a whole lot of people running around with performance orientation issues and are paying a lot of money to counselors because they were always judged, always rewarded only on what they did. Who are they? What happens in the room when they walk in the room? How do you feel? I notice people around you just seem to feel so empowered. There's a difference that takes place when you walk in the room. There's a difference that takes place. I feel a change in the environment. Whenever I talk to you, I feel like you really are hearing me. I want to thank you for being that person. Versus, good job. Hey, great numbers. I feel empowered. You know? Okay, what happened? Oh, what did I do? I did something wrong. See what I did wrong?
Should have put you back in, Teri.
Okay, thank you, I'm sorry. Technology is not my genius. Okay? So the coaching skills, why do we coach? We coach because it causes accelerated outcomes. Accelerated achievement. Now this gets into my little bandbox. I'm just going to go on it like for a minute and a half. But we have an entire culture of challenges right now in our country. Because somewhere, generationally, we decided we did not expect accomplishment. We did not train and coach to accomplishment. We have an entire generation of people in their 50s, I'm coaching them, some of them, that have never felt the power of accomplishment. You know what it feels like? Because somewhere we backed off. Somewhere we said, yeah, it's okay if you don't do anything at all. We're going to reward you anyway. We're going to be there for you anyway. No problem. We have an entire, I'm coaching 50 and 60-year-old people even who have never